In this Nioh 3 build guide, we're going to be taking a look at how to put together the Ferocious Claws build using Talons and the Ninja style as your main setup. I'll be showing you where to place your stats and skills to get the maximum impact for this build, as well as what equipment to use, and what Guardian Spirit and Soul Cores to have. This is an early and mid-game build meant for players to put together from the earliest parts of Nioh 3, but has the potential to keep on being used all the way to the end of the game. This build uses the Ninja stance mainly combined with the excellent ability of the Talons to deal damage to both life and ki with its fast attacks. What makes the Talons unique from other ninja weapons is that it has shorter attack animations and options to cancel out of your combo, increasing your mobility, easily allowing you to adapt to the situation at hand. While the short reach of the weapons makes positioning essential when using them, the inherent nature of the faster attacks of the Talons makes this relatively easy, with no compromise for your ability to deal large amounts of damage while in ninja style. While the lower damage per hit of the Talons might lead you to believe the weapons do not have high potential, the overall damage output remains on par with other weapons as the result of the fast nature of the Talon combos. Where relatively slower weapons such as the Split Staff or Kusari Gamma may only get in a strike or two, the Talons have the ability to land multiple hits during a short window. You can easily deal upwards of thousands of damage during this window, provided after a burst break, when combining with the extra damage from backstab with the fast attack combos of the Talon. Ninja equipment has access to many effects that can increase the effectiveness of melee attacks, such as reduction in ki consumption on attacks on weapons, as well as increasing efficiency of ki management through effects that increase ki recovery on the armor pieces, lessening the chances of catching yourself with no ki as you dodge and weave around the battlefield. This build will not be relying on the samurai style a lot, as we will be taking advantage of the mobility and speed offered by the ninja style, but we can still use the hard-hitting ability of the samurai style to deal damage after a style shift burst break. In terms of stats for this build, we'll be taking advantage of the ability of the Talons to scale with the intellect stat. In addition to increasing the damage of our attacks, this will also prolong the duration of status effects, making it easier to take advantage of various buffs and debuffs offered by talismans and ninjutsu. While the weapon also scales with heart and stamina, we'll not be using them as our main stats. Having around 10 to 15 points in heart is favorable for this dodge-heavy build, as having more ki always helps. For stamina, strength, and skill, we'll only be putting minimum required points for special effects of our equipment to activate them. For magic, while the weapon does not scale with this stat, investing in it will give you more slots for talismans, providing more options to use. Regarding constitution, while we won't be relying on it to scale for our damage output, I personally like to have at least 15 points around the level 70 mark to prevent getting killed by a single hit or grab attack. For this build, we will obviously be using Talons as the main weapon type, but this does not need to be any specific talent. You can make use of the best one you've found or crafted, and the build can function without any trouble. The important thing is to look for special effects that will implement your playstyle with either bonuses related to melee attacks or life drain, helping with damage or sustain. On the samurai style side, there is no specific weapon that you'll be using for this build, but any weapon type that scales with magic such as the sword or switchglaive will work fine. Since we'll only be relying on the style shift and immediately switching back to the ninja style afterward for the majority of time, the samurai weapons do not play a significant role for this build. For ranged weapons, there's no specific weapon type we're using with this build, but using ones with the highest damage will give you the potential to start with a powerful opening shot when initiating combat. Since all ranged weapons scale with the intellect stat, you can deal substantial amounts of damage with a well-placed headshot. When it comes to armor for this build, there are multiple sets whose set bonuses you can take advantage of. While we will not be using any specific armor pieces with set bonuses, the Air Shinobi Garment piece's inherent special effect of reduction in dodge ki consumption works wonders for the ki consumption heavy ninja build. You can choose to wear 5 pieces of the Air Shinobi armor, but if you want to maximize your damage potential, you can use pieces of heavier Shinobi gear that provides bonus to backstab damage, which the ninja style will be aiming to do in fights. While using 5 pieces of Shinobi gear can greatly increase your damage output, the pieces are also heavy and will bring you into the slow agility C rating with above the 70% encumbrance ratio. Ideally, mixing pieces of these two sets and staying in the agility B rating between the 30 and 70% encumbrance ratio will max your damage potential without sacrificing too much mobility. Using armor pieces with special effects that grant extra sources of sustain, such as life recovery after an evasion or life recovery and reader absorption, can help with the survivability of the build, as the fast attacking nature of the Talons helps you gain Amrita quite fast, especially when fighting yokai. As we will not be relying on the samurai style as I just mentioned, I'll not go into too much details, but using the Swordmaster set with the Sword and Zen as one set bonus can help with damage to a certain extent after a style shift burst break, as it increases the damage dealt with swords. As the Swordmaster set only uses 4 pieces of armor, equipping 1 piece of the Wayfarer set along with the Urn Splitter Odachi in the second weaponry slot will enable you to recover health when you're using martial arts with the art's proficiency after a burst break, giving some sustain while using the samurai style. For this build, I like to use the white fan accessory to help with key management, as this accessory comes with the base special effect of increased key recovery speed. For the secondary special effects, I prefer using pieces with a luck bonus to help with finding better and rare equipment as I further progress into the game. Where to place your skill points is a vital part of making any build in Nioh 3 work, and in this section we'll take a look at things you need to create this one. Regarding common skills, Repel Expert increases the survivability of this relatively squishy build as it extends the window of opportunity for a successful burst break. The secret skills text for this can be obtained by opening a large chest located on the left walkway of the Cursed House and the western area of Funa Okayama area of the high-end map. The large chest will only be accessible after clearing the enemy base surrounding it. Next, Vigorous Spirit helps with sustain for the build as it applies auto life recovery to yourself as long as you remain above a certain threshold, mitigating the need to use elixirs when you're not in a critical state. The secret skills text for this can be obtained from a corpse near a door inside the Matsuo Taisha shrine in Sagano during the Heian era. Since we'll be relying on talismans provided by Omnio Magic to buff our attacks, the Awakening Master skill will enable you to cast magic faster and ensure that there is minimal downtime while you're applying various buffs. The skill text can be obtained as a reward for completing the way of the Omnio Novus battle scroll. After these, using common skills such as Fortitude, which gives you life points, helping with survivability, or you're looking to increase your damage with your melee attacks using the attack mastery skills will help. I generally prefer focusing on Fortitude for this build, as the gear for this build does not have a high defense value. The secret skills text, Fortitude 1, can be obtained from a corpse on a ledge in Hamamatsu. To reach the ledge, drop down from the Hamamatsu bridge and head to the southern corner, where you'll have to scale a spirit vein using the guardian spirit Kurama Tengu. The secret skills text, Fortitude 2, can be obtained from a corpse near a ledge in the middle south section of Lake Hamana. To reach the ledge, players will need to first destroy the spirit vein boulder using the guardian spirit Kongo Jishi. As this build does not rely on samurai style, I'll not mention the samurai skills and martial arts and instead move on to ninja style. Regarding the skills for ninja style, the Backstab Life Siphon is a great skill that provides an additional source of sustain as it will allow you to restore life when you deal damage to an enemy from behind. The secret skill text for this skill can be found by a small stone shrine guarded by a crucible wraith, Nureana, outside of a cave in the middle section of Maisaka, which is accessible after draining the water in the lake. For the next skill, Illusory Dragon helps to increase your damage output through increased amount of damage dealt against an enemy inflicted by a status ailment by 12%. The secret skills text for Illusory Dragon can be obtained by defeating the Mujina, found next to a broken shed beside a ladder on a cliff in the southern section of Mikatagahara. The Yokai Banisher skill is also great for the ninja style, as it allowed the ninja style to dispel yokai realms without the need to switch to samurai style. You'll be able to obtain this skill text after defeating the Great Tengu boss and obtaining the Kurama Tengu Guardian Spirit. Next, Hollow Form will enhance your mist as it leaves an after image which will partially restore your ki if an enemy comes in contact. This skill helps with ki management, and the skill text can be found on a stone shrine hidden under a large tree in the enemy base in the Hamamatsu area. Lastly, the Snakebite technique is another skill that helps with the overall damage output for this build, as it increases the amount of damage over time you inflict upon enemies by 16%. The secret skills text for this skill can be found in a large chest on the lowest wooden platform, guarded by a gaki by the cliff southwest of the Mikatagahara Junction Shrine in Hamamatsu Hill during the Warring States map. For Talons skills, Getting Fracture Foe grants the weapon the ability to follow up a quick attack with a kick and an elbow strike. And while this move consists of a fewer number of attacks compared to the starting follow-up move, Whirling Tiger, it has the ability to deal huge amounts of ki damage and easily break through your foe's defenses. With Archer's Impact, you gain a move that can easily close the distance as you back up slightly to build up force before propelling yourself forward, striking the enemy. This move will easily allow you to start your attacks from range while also dealing a substantial amount of ki damage. Having the Dragonfly Reversal skill will also help with mobility, as it will allow you to attack directly from a dodge. The move can be done by performing a strong attack while you are dodging, and is extremely useful for keeping your pressure up while also dodging attacks. Regarding ninjutsu, we'll not be relying on them as a main source of damage, but as a complement to inflicting status effects as well as combo finishers. For this purpose, the Fire Shuriken and Poison Shuriken are good, as you can easily inflict the Scorch and Poison damage from them over time from range. Earthen Wall provides a versatile tool that you can use as a combo finisher when you're running low on ki, or as a defensive measure to block incoming charges or projectiles, creating some breathing room. While not a necessity, you can swap out the shurikens with a defensive physical art such as Burrow or Shadow Self to make it easier to dodge incoming attacks. While both Earthen Wall and Poison Shuriken can be learned without the need for handbooks, Fire Shuriken needs to be learned through one. Guardian Spirits play a significant role with most builds, particularly when you're min-maxing. For this build, I recommend switching to Enko as quickly as possible, especially if you prefer a more melee-oriented playstyle, as it provides bonus melee damage versus scorched enemies. Additionally, Enko also gives bonus to damage over time, making the build's overall damage output higher, as you can easily inflict damage over time with your Fire and Poison Shurikens. Its Guardian Spirit skill, Hellfire Maul, is a relatively fast flaming kick that can stagger most enemies except for large yokai, and is also great for Spirit Burst breaking. The quick nature of the Spirit skill makes it a great tool to combo together with the fast attacks of the Talons while also helping to inflict Scorch. If you prefer a more ranged playstyle, switching to Kurama Tengu as soon as possible can help, as the Guardian Spirit skill, Kurama Slicer, is also a ranged attack that can help you prevent some ground attacks, as well as Spirit Burst break from afar. The Enemy Sensor special effect also helps during exploration as it reveals enemies on the minimap, lessening the chance of you getting ambushed. For Samurai Guardian Spirit, while the style doesn't play a huge role in the build, using the Kongo Jishi can help as it provides good defense through special effects such as extra life and reduced damage taken while attacking. Also, the Gale Claw's Guardian Spirit skill, which unleashes an upward claw strike, can be a quick skill that is helpful for Spirit Burst breaking, or can be charged up for a more powerful attack. When it comes to soul cores for this build, the Amainu soul core set in the Yang position is amazing, as it gives a boost to the damage of quick attacks, which the Talons use a lot. Additionally, it would also increase your movement speed whenever you gain Amrita, helping with the mobility of this build. While the effect may be difficult to activate when fighting human opponents, it's extremely helpful and relatively easy to use when fighting yokai, as you'll gain Amrita whenever you hit a yokai whose spirit force is drained. For yin positions, the Nurikabe Soul Core gives you steel talismans, which are useful for boosting your defense, helping with the survivability of the offensive-oriented build. Next, I like to use water talismans by setting a Maelstrom Oni Beast Soul Core, as it would allow you to imbue your weapon with a water element and easily inflict the Saturate ailment on your target, increasing the damage they take. You can easily replace this with a different elemental talisman of your choice, or set another one in a different slot to have access to 2 elements. Next, while exploring the world and going through missions, setting a Kappa Soul Core will give you the Luckbringer talismans, which will give you a bonus to luck, making it easier to find rarer gear. You can change the soul cores for this build if you want more defensive buffs. Using the Barrier Talisman gained through the Otoroshi Soul Core can help, as it increases your key recovery speed while dispelling yokai realms, and the Oasis Talisman gained through the Hero Enma Soul Core can give you an extra source of healing in addition to elixirs. When it comes to titles for this build, getting all levels of melee attack key consumption is great, as it allows more attacks with your combos before needing to step away and restore your ki. Afterwards, you can either choose to increase your damage potential further by increasing the ki damage inflicted by your ninjutsu, but I prefer points in reducing the ki consumption of dodging, improving the overall mobility and in turn survivability, especially during boss fights of this build. In addition to the ninja style, maxing out ki recovery speed under the tactic titles will help with ki management for this high mobility focused build, and maxing out melee ki damage under the formable enemies titles will make it easier to drain the ki or spirit force of your enemies. Final tips. The Ferocious Claws is a build that favors a highly aggressive playstyle with fast strings of combos, easily allowing you to assault your target with quick and powerful attacks. While the moves such as Fracture Foe and Archer's Impact focus on hard-hitting attacks and have fewer number of strikes in their combos, the shorter nature of these moves allows greater versatility and lowers the chance of getting hit yourself mid-combo with low ki and leaving yourself wide open for a finishing blow. Being one of the weapons with the shortest reach in the game along with castices of the samurai style, the Talons requires good positioning and needs you to be as close as possible to your foe. And while moves such as Archer's Impact provide a solid method for closing the gap with a strike, you'll need to stick close for your combos to land. Using a talisman to imbue your talismans with an element will help immensely, as the fast combos makes it relatively easy to fill up the status ailment bar, and when combined with status effects from your shurikens, the build-up can easily inflict the confused status effect, which will increase the damage taken and slow down of ki recovery. This is activated when the target is afflicted with multiple status ailments at the same time. As you progress further into the game, you want to start spreading your points into heart and stamina after you've reached at least 40 points into the intellect stat. This will ensure your melee weapon damage is scaling nicely while also giving extra ki and life, helping with survivability in the later stages of the game. You can also gradually increase your magic stat to gain more talisman slots, which will make it easier to use different elements or add more healing magic as the situation requires. Regarding gear, switching to the Sage set is good for this intellect stat-based build, as the set bonus will give bonus attack damage scaling with the stat with all 6 pieces. So that wraps up the Ferocious Claws build for Nioh 3. This is a Talons-based ninja-style build. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's super aggressive. I love playing aggressively in these types of games. That's pretty much how I played the entire way in Code Vein and Nioh 3. So if you like aggressive builds, you definitely want to check this one out. As always, if you have other tips for this build, things I didn't mention that could improve it, you can leave them here. And if there are other builds that you would like to see, please leave them in the comments below.